So it's the second full day on the job for New York City's newest police commissioner.
That's right. Jessica Tisch was sworn in as the 48th police commissioner and the 4th to serve under the Adams administration. So she sat down with me a short time after she took the oath to discuss how she plans to tackle public safety issues facing so many of you. We heard from the NYPD over and over again that crime is down, but rapes, assaults are up, and then there's this perception issue that people just don't feel safe. You look at what happened just a few weeks ago with the fatal stabbing on the streets. It was a mental health issue there, right? So how are you going to tackle that perception issue of a New Yorker saying, I just don't feel safe?
So two things. First, the mayor announced recently, actually, the day he called me to tell me I was going to be police commissioner, he gave me another gift, which was 1,600 additional cops. Yeah. And I think that's going to make a really big difference. People are going to see and feel the cops more when you have more of them. I worked under Commissioner Bratton, and at the time we hired 1,000 new cops. That was 2017. 2018 and 2019 were the safest years in the history books since 1950s. Right. So more cops absolutely works. But you touch on the mental health crisis in New York City, and yes, that is something that makes New Yorkers feel less safe. And to address that, it's going to take a whole of government approach. But one thing that I do not accept is those people that pit more police against more services for the mentally ill. Mm-hmm. No, that's a false choice. We need more of both, and the mayor's delivering.
Now, let me break that down, because you said that it was the safest years on record, right? But a New Yorker doesn't believe it.
I said that 2018 and 2019 were the safest years on record since the 1950s. And I was talking about how having more cops on the street actually really makes a difference, not only to crime, but to the perceptions around crime.
So you had said in a recent interview, and this was your quote, if you commit a crime in New York City, regardless of your immigration status, we need to be able to take action. And right now, in certain circumstances, we cannot do that, end quote. So are you talking about repeat offenders? But take the migrant crisis out of it. We'll get to that in a second. A repeat offender who's back on the street. Do you see that as a problem and a hindrance for your ability to keep New York safe as the commissioner?
The mayor has talked about the revolving door of the criminal justice system over and over and over again, very effectively. He cited a statistic that really blew my mind. Something like 38 people on the New York City subway system committed 1,162 crimes. That's like 30 crimes a person, and each of those crimes has a victim. New York City doesn't have a crime problem. We have a recidivism problem. And what I want your viewers to know is that the men and women of the New York City Police Department are out there all day, every day, making arrests, keeping them safe. Arrests are up. Crime is down. There is more to do. But we also need all of our partners in the criminal justice system to come to the table.
So what does that look like, right? Are you talking about laws changing in Albany to deal with that revolving door? How do you get that done as police commissioner when you need lawmakers to say, okay, maybe we need to roll back some of the things we put in place?
This is what I do, right? I did not come up the ranks as a uniform police officer. I came up the ranks as a civilian, working very effectively with the city council, working very effectively with the state legislature and other stakeholders to make progress for New Yorkers. That is absolutely part of the assignment here.
But why are you so confident you can get it done? If lawmakers haven't yet said, with the pressure before you, that they want to roll back crime, that they don't want to roll back some of the changes, how are you sure you can get it done?
What I said, Dan, was I was going to put my energy and attention to it. This is my second day on the job.
Yes.
Haven't had any of those meetings, and I look forward to coming back once I do and briefing you further.
No, I appreciate that. And you know, it gets to the mental health issue as well. When there's a bed crisis, you know, and things like that. There's been this whole idea of, can you forcefully, as the NYPD, remove people from the street and get them the help they so need? Can you do that? Do you want to do that?
The mayor has been very clear in his support for legislation up in Albany that would provide the NYPD more flexibility in dealing with people in mental health crisis. Yeah. That legislation absolutely has to pass.
So I want to talk about overall staffing levels. You talked about the gift the mayor gave you, which was 1,600. But NYPD staffing levels overall are the lowest they've been in 30 years, right? So 1,600 officers is certainly a great gift to you to get things done. But you said you want to return to a time, quote, where you want your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews to follow in footsteps to become police officers, end quote. That was your words in your speech yesterday. So are you saying that right now that's not happening, that people aren't proud or don't want to come to the NYPD?
I believe that the profession of policing is the noblest of professions, and no one does it better than the men and women of the NYPD. And what we need to do is make our cops feel supported. They, for the first time in a while, have a mayor that has their back.
So how is she going to recruit those officers and keep those officers, right? Plus, does she want to make changes to top leadership? It's a big part of the conversation. That was just a snippet of a very wide-ranging interview. You can watch the full interview with Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch on this week's Picks and Politics, Friday, 6:30 p.m. and again Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. But a lot of you chimed in on what you wanted to ask, so tried to get a lot of those questions answered.
Yeah.